happy, and welcome back to Dispensaries. I'm Renata, your friendly and resourceful pharmacy, here to help you navigate through this health and wellness world that is so much vast information where this trend is going on now and people are telling you to do this, do that, and this is best for you, when really it's up to you to find out what works best for you. And I'm here to help you navigate through that and all that information and guide you to show you what to look for, what not to look for, what's important, what may not be important, and how you need to approach some of these things and approach some of these situations. So, today is Wednesday, and on Wednesdays, we talk about weed, marijuana, CBD. It's Weed Wednesdays. So that's what we get into. And today we're getting into medical marijuana. So medical marijuana is different from your recreational or regular marijuana that you could buy on the corner. Not even from the corner. What am I talking about? This is not 1986. This is 2021. So buy from your friend, buy from whoever. Go to a dispensary in certain states and cities, such as California, Colorado, Washington State, all those places. I think even Chicago and parts of New York. I think. Don't quote me on that. I have to go back and look at the map again. But those have not just medical marijuana, but also recreational marijuana, where you can just do it that it's mainly THC based for you to get high. So what really is medical marijuana, and what does that refer to? It refers to the whole unprocessed plant or extractions that have the relevant chemicals needed for you to heal, get rid of pain, get rid of muscle contractions. And so marijuana has over 100 different chemicals called cannabinoids. We all know our cannabinoids in each have like a different effect on the body. We have cannabinoid receptors that allow us to grab onto in certain places and within our brain, within our stomach, within our muscles, that allow us to grab onto those cannabinoids, take those in, and do whatever it needs to do for our body, what effects it's supposed to do, whether that's anxiety, whether that's the treatment of pain, whether that's treatment of muscle contractions, chronic pain. It could even be certain things with autism, as well as arthritis and epilepsy, seizures, all those things, nausea and vomiting. That is a part of what medical marijuana is supposed to do. So two major chemical components that have to be in what is considered medical marijuana is not just THC, but also the CBD component. So THC is going to have it's going to be highly psychoactive. So once it hits those receptors, it's really, of course, going to cross the blood-brain barrier, which is that barrier that not all medications or not all substances are supposed to be able to cross or should cross, because they will have an effect on the brain if they do cross. So within that, THC has so much an effect on the brain because it crosses that blood-brain barrier along with CBD. And the psychoactive effects are very exaggerated in it. So it has a stronger psychoactive effect. CBD also has a psychoactive effect. I know there's a lot of stuff going out there that's saying CBD is not psychoactive. That's a lie. It's a lie because some people, it's a lot more milder than the psychoactive effects of THC, but it still has those effects and it still has those receptors that it reaches and that it touches and that, that it hangs upon, just like THC, that are going to cross the blood-brain barrier and give it that psychoactive effects in people, but they're usually mild. And so it allows you to change your mood and perception of things, which allows it to be better added for people with depression or PTSD or anxiety. And having those meds and having CBD along with THC, them together working synergistically, has more effect on the body than just THC, where some people, as you can see, some people become hyperactive and also become paranoid more so off of THC because of its effects on the brain. And sometimes that is too much for a patient. But if somebody needs a medicinal effect to bring down that anxiety, CBD along with THC in combination works so much better, and it gives it so much more of effect because it allows it to. CBD is more like when I read something, it's more like a dimmer. So it's so much more milder than THC. It allows it to have better control in modulating. So maybe the more CBD that you add to a THC allows it to have less paranoid effects, allows you to get that anxiety under control and depression under control, along with the pain, without you having any highly psychoactive effects, meaning not tripping out or paranoid or thinking somebody's following you, because some people really get that, and some people have those type of issues. So that's why they don't want to interact with THC and don't see medical marijuana or marijuana as an option for them when it can be an option for you, especially as we start to do more studies, as we start to look deeper into things, and as the federal government works to allow this to be federally legal, then it should be open up to get better studies, more studies, deeper into how we can extract this, move this, put things together, and allow them to be more effective naturally. So, like I said, them two together have more of a synergistic effect. So, CBD, like I said, helps to neutralize THC's psychoactive potency. So, it won't be as potent if you add CBD more into it. If you wanted to do it at home, if you go buy some THC and you have some CBD and you mix those two together, a lot of times the psychoactive effect will go down, but the other effects that you need for the nausea, the pain, the anxiety, or anything else, because you don't want as strong of a psychoactive effect, CBD will help you. CBD can also balance you out. If you've taken too much THC, CBD is a great thing to add or have on the side in case it may be too much of a dose for you to maybe take a couple of puffs of a CBD little vape, disposable vape or something in that way. So pure CBD is not as effective as both THC and CBD together. So pure CBD, it's going to give you some, but you really do need CBD and THC together to get full and comparable effects, and to get something that is actually going to be potent enough and sufficient enough for it to actually help you within whatever diseases that are going on. So like I said, THC is more so made for to get high. It's to get that high and to get that psychoactive activity, and sometimes to relax and calm people. That's just more of a potent higher dose. But like I said, together, the therapeutic potency with CBD can help balance those out. So if it has, most of the time within medical marijuana, it's there for, medical marijuana is more for the therapeutic effect rather than the potency of getting high. So you're going to have a higher CBD content in medical marijuana and a lower THC content. So the ratios will be low. It could be a 19-1, a 10-1, a 15-1, which means 15 of CBD to 1 of THC, because of the potency, the psychoactive potency of that THC is so strong, but the effects to boost up the CBD are needed. So if you're taking medical marijuana, it has to be recommended by a medical professional. It's one that can prescribe. So a doctor that does a lot of medical marijuana. There are also places that sell medical marijuana that actually work in conjunction with the doctor, and will connect you virtually to go see a doctor or to go see a medical professional that can prescribe you these if they feel that it is conducive for your condition. So also with medical marijuana, you must be 18 years or older, but under special circumstances like children with epilepsy and seizures, if along with their parents' permission, they should be able to take this medical marijuana. Even children with autism are able to take it as long as they have a parent's permission. And their parent usually most of the time is authorizing that I need this, or that this is best for my child, or I've seen this. Now with recreational, you have to be 21 and older in order to buy. So in order to look at a website, they ask you if you're 21 and older. Anything like that, you have to be 21 and older for any kind of recreational use of marijuana. Now, and it is also greater regulated. Medical marijuana also has a greater regulation. It has more testing for safety and efficacy, and it should be, and it is supposed to be a higher quality and consistent product, because it's more highly regulated, and there should be they have a higher expectation of those, because it is for medicinal use. And when you're talking about medicinal use, the FDA and all those others and other regulations, since it's not federally regulated, not the FDA, but local regulations are going to make sure, like the DEA and DHS are going to be a part of that, and a part of making sure that they meet certain guidelines, and that it has to meet certain guidelines in order to be used medically. Because you can't just be giving THC and CBD out willy-nilly and being like, take this. and it may not be the right dosage for that person, or it may not be under proper supervision, because you just taking it however you want. It may not help. You need actually guidance when you're taking this. Guidance is important, especially since more research needs to be done, more regulations probably, because it's not as regulated as a pharmaceutical industry. It is a whole new industry, so rules are coming up out of nowhere, and every state regulates something different. And also, what I've seen is medical marijuana can be a little bit less expensive because it's not the same taxes. That is from a dispensary basis. I don't know how you get it off the street, wherever you get it from. That could be a whole nother story. And I can't get into that or check your price, because some of the prices I've seen on the medical marijuana when I was researching it was a little bit high for my budget. I'm not going to lie. And insurance does not cover. So I can't tell you what the price range is, but some of them can get a little pricey, up to $70, $100, 200, 400. I've seen a couple of, and I was like, okay. That's why some people are really more apt to get recreational, because of that price range of what they say. Now, who does it usually get prescribed for? If you have any of these and these are still a problem and you really don't want to rely on pain meds, opiates, you don't want to continually rely on opiates or rely on other prescription medications, and you would rather try something from a more natural perspective, they are used for things like appetite loss, which comes with a lot of disease states, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, Crohn's, cancers, eating disorders, glaucoma. If you have multiple sclerosis, muscle spasms, in AIDS and HIV, insomnia, nausea, chronic pain, nausea and vomiting, chemotherapy, osteoarthritis, epilepsy, restless leg syndrome, anxiety, depression, PTSD, people in hospice care, autistic children, patients, older adults, however you'd like to say it, and sickle cell. And it all depends on within your state. Now, the state of Texas, highly regulated. They're going to be a little bit more strict on there. So it really only goes for a lot of people that have MS, that have multiple sclerosis, autism, and epilepsy. And it's really only a few of those. And I believe also Parkinson's. Below, I will put a list based on your state of what the regulation is. I saw a map. It has the map of who's got medical, who has medical and recreational, and who hasn't done any of it. And it's only 2 states, so I think that's Nebraska and Idaho. Neither of them want to deal with it at all. But other states have approved it medically, and some have approved, and a lot of them have approved it recreationally. So I'm going to also list a few medical marijuana dispensaries that are around the country, that are in certain places. You may be able to get it. There's 3 in Texas. I will link those below. One of them is a Compassionate Care. The other one is I cannot say this, Certera. And Certera is also known as a Good Blend. It's a company based out of Florida, and it's an online company. But in Texas, it's called Good Blend. So when you get the link within it, it's called Good Blend in there. There's True Leave, which is a holistically structured one in Connecticut, Cali, Florida, and Massachusetts. There is Curaleaf, which has a wide variety, and it's done very differently. They have house-grown, lab-tested. There's also one that's a vape brand. If you would rather prefer to take it in a vape oil and terpenes, it's called Select Brand. That one's based offline. Most of these are based offline. Greenleaf Medicinal is another one. They're an online distributor, mainly based out of Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Ohio. Like I said, Certera, online based, mainly in Florida, but they are registered here for Texas, and they can dispense in Texas. And I believe they send it to you through a UPS, one of those. They send it to you, and it's, again, they're going to move you to a site that's called Good Blend. You can even go to the Certera site, but they'll move you to a site called Good Blend. Also, Cookies brand is well known, especially for recreational and medicinal. Cresco Labs is one. Wild CBD, which is WYLD. There's also a Viola brand. There is a Foria, and it's an innovative health and sexual wellness. So they do a lot for like feminine, they do a lot of feminine products and a lot of products for feminine health and sexual wellness within women. There is a Wana brand, a Tyson, Renab. There's one called Old Pal. There's a Curio Wellness, a Sierra Naturals, a Lowell Herb. There's a Steezy, and they have like little pods, and theirs are mainly oils that they use, and those oils are basically used for vape. But you can only use it within their specific device, so sometimes that's a cutoff. Did I also say Curio Wellness is one and Grow Healthy is another? I'll link all these below, and a lot of them, they're only in certain states in which they will, that they cover. I will also put specifically the 3 ones that are connected within Texas where you can order ones out. The Compassionate Care one is Compassionate. I forgot how to say it. I didn't even write it down either on my board. So that one, I would put the 3 and specifically put in Texas that these 3 are, and most of them are mainly online for delivery, for basically for delivery, especially at this point in the state of Texas. So please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that bell notification button. If you have any questions, don't forget to leave them in the comment. You can email me. I have that down below, any of my contacts. Again, I will put all of these facilities down below so that you can check them out. I will also put a map of what is approved for in your state, because the medical marijuana industry, it's not the same in every state, and that is the craziness kind of this industry, and that we have to keep being updated and changed because there's a lot of things that are changing on a regular basis, especially within each state. So thank you guys again for taking your time to listen. I hope you have a wonderful Wednesday, and don't forget, this is just to find out what works for you. Not everything is for everybody, and everybody is not for everything. So take your time, listen, and figure out what works for you. Thank you, guys.